coming into the boat ramp. I'm by myself, so I've got to load my boat on my own. What I'll do is I'll pull in here and I'll get in fairly close, and I'll go ahead and deploy my trolling motor. Then I'll stop it about right in there, just when it gets under the surface. Then I'll pull up here to the ramp. Reach in here and get my keys. Kill my motor. Step off. Lower my trolling motor just a little bit more, hit trim it down, about right there. Push my ski over here. I always like to have my trolling motor facing me. And what I'll do, I'll give it just a little bit of a nudge, and I'll let it get about 10 feet away from everything, and then I hit spot lock, and then it'll drift just a little bit, and then that spot lock mode should come on, and that'll bring it back in probably about 5 feet, and it'll stay right there while I go up here and get the truck. And I'll get out. You can see my spot locks held me in place. I'll just drive it to me and then kill it, get a hold of it, stow it. Now you got one of two choices. You can fire your motor up and drive her up on there, or you can just pull it up on there by hand. I'm lazy, so I like to get in here, fire it up. Hit my reverse, turn it around real quick. Pretty snug, and that's it. Get her clipped in and pull out of here. Okay, so this is how I go about launching when I'm solo like this. I leave my hook latched here. I just give myself some slack and then put a stop on it so it'll slide off. Undo this hook, hook it back, and then my orange rope, you'll see both our skis have these. These are absolutely essential. Now I'll use this. I'll push my ski off, and this kinesthetic cord is going to allow me to push this off, and then that's going to be spring loaded, so I can move it to the side and just stay right here. And because it's like a bungee cord, it just pulls it right back to me. Now I'll take this, I'll run my cord back through here, clip it to my cup holder. Then I'll come over and I'll hit deploy or manual deploy, just whichever one you're doing. Then I'll pause it when it's about a foot under the water, about right there. And then what I like to do is just kind of give it a little, get it almost perpendicular to the boat ramp, to this concrete right here. That way I know I'm not getting back on the concrete. I'll give it just a little nudge. When it gets out there about 10 feet, I'll hit spot lock. Then it'll still drift a little bit, but it'll come back to that spot where I hit. So your vessel should wind up staying about 10 feet off. There, spot lock kicks in, and now it'll drive it back up. And it should stay about right in there. And then what I do is I get in my truck and I drive my truck up here and I park it. And then I walk back down into the water. Let's say I've pulled my truck out of the way. And then I'll come down and I'll just drive it back to me. Turn the motor. And I'll drive it to me. And when it gets to me, I'll hit stop. Get a hold of my vessel. Then I'll hit stow. It will stow my craft. And then I'll just turn my jet ski. And I always like to get, if I've got a concrete boat ramp, get right on top of the concrete, not off to the side. And of course my trailer would be gone. Get this above the concrete and then just drive on out. That way you don't have to worry about sucking up any debris. Easy peasy. Now another thing you can do is if it's cold weather and you don't want to get wet, you can just leave everything unhooked, let it float out in the water, deploy it, walk on the boat dock over here, and then drive it over there to you, and you don't even have to get wet. So trolling motors on jet skis, you're still in a wet environment, but you can stay dry, and you can definitely launch this all by yourself without any problem. If you got a trolling motor, if you see I've got a lot of rocks and stuff over here, so I don't necessarily want to drag my craft up into that. All right guys, have a blessed day.